Hello everyone. Hope you all are good and I hope that you have studied the previous lecture, first lecture of chapter 2 from part 2, accounting for debentures properly. Yes, we have finished chapter 1 from part 2, which was accounting for share capital. Yes, and since the previous lecture, we have started with chapter 2 from part 2, which is accounting for debentures. Firstly, let us quickly revise whatever we have understood in the previous lecture. We have discussed about the weightage of this chapter firstly, and we have understood the meaning of debenture. Yes, what actually debenture is, what is the difference between share and a debenture. We have discussed about weightage, which says there is one MCQ, one VSQ and two 3-mark questions, of which one can also be a theory question. Yes, long theory. I mean of 3 marks. Yes, so total weightage of this chapter is of 8 marks. Yes, in last lecture while discussing about weightage, I think I forgot to mention about the theory question that I said right now. Yeah, so please consider that point. And thereafter, we have understood about the journal entries, and the same thing I gave you in homework. Yes, and if I'm not wrong, we have also understood illustration 1 on the basis of the journal entries that I've taught you. Yes, so firstly, we have understood the accounting effects for issue of debentures on page number 67 in your textbook. And on the very next page, when the amount of debentures is called up in installments. All those journal entries we have understood in detail. And on the same basis, we have solved illustration 1. Yes? So, while teaching and while explaining illustration 1, I have constantly compared the same illustration with the journal entries of chapter 1 for the issue of shares. Yes, they are nearly similar, or I can say mostly they are similar. Yes, and the topic that we are going to start today is issue of debentures at premium, that I said that I will explain in the next lecture. See, we have understood in first chapter that the shares can be issued at par, at premium and at discount, of which the issue of shares at discount was not in your syllabus. Yes, it was considered at the time of reissue of shares, but not at the time of issue of shares. Yes. Similarly, debentures are issued at par, at premium and at discount, of which issue of debentures at premium we are going to understand right now. When the debentures are issued at more than their face value, when the debentures are issued at more than their face value. What does that mean? Say for example, the face value of the debenture is rupees 100. Yes. And if the debenture is issued at rupees 130, the way it is written in the second line of first para of the picture that is presented on your screen, then it is called that the debenture has been issued at premium of rupees 30. 100 rupees is the face value, 30 rupees is the amount of premium. As per Companies Act 2013, premium amount on debentures is transferred to Securities Premium Reserve account. You know this very well. Whenever the amount of premium is received by the company, it is separately credited to Securities Premium account. We have understood this even in the previous chapter. So similarly, the premium received on debentures is transferred to Securities Premium Reserve account. Like share premium, debenture premium is also a capital profit and hence the same cannot be used for distribution of dividend but can be used for writing off capital expenses or loss like discount on issue of debentures, premium on redemption of debentures, preliminary expenses, goodwill, patent, etc. Now this premium on redemption of debentures and discount on issue of debentures. These two concepts are included in this chapter. And of course, you know very well about preliminary expenses, goodwill and patent. We've understood this in 11th standard as well as I think we have discussed this even in 12th standard at some point. Finally, an important point here, securities premium reserve account is shown on the equity and liabilities side of the balance sheet under the head reserve and surplus. Yes, securities premium reserve account. They say equity and liabilities side of balance sheet. Balance sheet is having two sides, liabilities side and asset side. So equity and liabilities side is nothing but just the left hand side of balance sheet and liabilities side. So the amount of securities premium reserve account, they say, is shown on equity and liabilities side of the balance sheet. This can be asked as VSQ, a very important short question. Yes, so please put a tick mark over this and don't forget to revise all the important points for theory. Okay, so the journal entries for this. So to understand this topic, actually, the issue of debentures at premium, they have given us a simple example, and on basis of same, they've explained us journal entries. They say, for example, a company issued 6,000 10% debentures of rupees 100 each at a premium of rupees 200. Sorry, at a premium of rupees 20 per debenture. What is the face value of debenture? Rupees 100. What is the amount of premium? It is 20 rupees. So what is the price of issue of debentures? It is 120 rupees. 100 for debenture and 20 for premium. Further, the full amount of the debenture was called up on application on all the debentures and the same was received. The journal entry in the books of company will be as under. Obviously, whenever you want to write down journal entries, the very first thing that you are supposed to do is to prepare the format of journal. Date, particulars, LF, debit, credit. Now here they say the amount of debenture is called up together. Yes, at a time I mean. So in the very first lecture we have understood what are the journal entries when the entire amount of debenture is called up at a time. If you remember the two journal entries. Yes, in the first lecture. And if you don't remember, then you should watch first lecture of this chapter on repeat mode and then you'll get to know about it. Fine then, the first journal entry for receipt of debenture, for receipt of amount of debenture. Bank account debit to 10% debenture application and allotment account. It says 7,20,000. How? 6,000 debentures, each of rupees 120. So 6,000 into 120 gives you 7,20,000 debentures. Yes? So that's all. And let us see what is the second journal entry. It says, excuse me. Second journal entry, 10% debenture application and allotment account debit, 7,20,000 rupees, which includes 6 lakh of debenture and 1,20,000 of premium. 6 lakh how? 6,000 into 100. And if we are talking about to securities premium reserve account, it is 6,000 into 20. We have just understood a point that the amount of premium received is to be separately credited to securities premium reserve account. So that is separately credited here, and the amount of debenture has been credited by 6 lakh rupees. Yes? And that's all. Next to this is when the amount of debentures is called up in installments. We have also understood the journal entries about this topic in the previous lecture, which are completely similar to chapter 1. You just need to replace share with debenture. Minor changes, and that I have explained well. So you may try illustration 2 on your own. There is no need of me explaining the same again and again. Yes? So illustration 2 we are not going to do, but you should surely try on your own. So the next topic that we are going to start in today's lecture is issue of debentures at discount. Let me be clear. There is a very simple thing. Say for example, the face value of the debenture is rupees 100. And if it is issued at rupees 90, obviously 10 rupees is of discount. This is said the issue of debentures at a discount. Whenever you issue a debenture at a price lesser than its face value, then it is said to be issued at discount. Just the way when the debenture is issued at a price higher than its face value, then it is said to be issued at premium. So if it is issued at a price lesser than its face value, it is said to be issued at discount. It's just that simple. Okay. So further, amount of discount on debentures is debited to discount on debentures account. It is an expense and it is debited. Yes. Further, they have given detailed explanation and few points. This is given in your textbook on page number 72. You may please read it in detail. And also on page number 72, you are having a topic for writing of discount on issue of debentures. It's of no use right now. That's the reason I'm not going to explain the same. Of course, you have journal entries too here. We are going to start with illustration 5 directly. Yes, and as and when necessary, I'll explain the journal entries which are given separately in your textbook with respective topic. So not to worry. And please pay attention to illustration 5 on page number 76. You need not worry about illustration 2, 3 and 4. If you'll just read it, you'll simply understand the same. It is completely similar to the long sums that we have solved in chapter 1. So there is no need of me explaining the same again and again, and also long questions from this chapter are not expected. That's the reason we are not solving long illustrations or say sums. So we are going to start with illustration 5 for now. Page number 76 in your textbook, and also the question has been presented on your screen. Okay, let me read it. Mohan Krishna Limited issued 80,000 10% debentures at the face value of rupees 500 each at a premium of 10%. Amount was payable as under. So a company, Mohan Krishna Limited, has issued 80,000 10% debentures at the face value of rupees 500 each. What is the face value of debenture? 500. At a premium of 10%. What is 10% of 500? 50 rupees. So 550 rupees is the issue price of the debenture. They say 250 on application including premium and balance amount on allotment. See, 500 is for debenture, 50 for premium. And with application they say 250 including premium. So obviously of 250, 50 rupees is for premium. So remaining 200 is of application, of course. Yes? Fine then. And they say balance on allotment. So out of 500, 200 is with application. So obviously 300 is with allotment. And also 50 rupees premium is called up with application. So this way 550 rupees is completed. These debentures are redeemable after 8 years. Applications are received by company for 1 lakh debentures and the allotment of 80,000 debentures is made on pro rata basis. Excess amount on application is credited to allotment account. Amount due on allotment is fully received. Past journal entries on the issue of debentures in the books of company. They say that you are supposed to write down the journal entry only for issue of debentures. If you will see in fourth line of this question, they say redeemable after 8 years. Redeemable is to return the amount of debentures. This is a new word for you. So see, just the way I said, debenture is a liability of the company. What does a liability mean? That means you are supposed to pay. Yes? So the amount of debentures is to be returned back to the debenture holders. Yes? And in the given question, they say that the amount of debentures is to be returned after 8 years. That is, the debentures are redeemable after 8 years. Yes? And in the last line, they have said that you are supposed to write down the journal entries only for issue of debentures and not for returning them. Yes? So, you should understand the question clearly first, that what you are supposed to do actually. Yes? Fine. Let us see the journal entries for this. We are clear with the question. Journal entries in the books of Mohan Krishna Limited. Obviously, as I said, the format of journal firstly, the heading, journal entries in the books of Mohan Krishna Limited. The first journal entry, bank account debit to 10% debenture application account. How many debentures have been issued? 1 lakh. And how much is the amount called up with application? Rupees 250 per debenture. Yes? Okay. Let us consider the question. Yes, there is a mistake. Sorry, I said 1 lakh debentures have been issued. That's not the case. 80,000 debentures have been issued and 1 lakh applications have been received. Yes? Okay. So 1 lakh into 250. That gives you 2 crore 50 lakh rupees. Now, the number of debentures issued are only 80,000 and the applications received are 1 lakh. That means this is the case of oversubscription. And here, the debenture applications have not been rejected, but instead the allotment has been made on pro rata basis. You know this topic very well. We have recently understood this in chapter 1. Right? So, second journal entry we'll understand on same basis. Firstly, 10% debenture application account debit, 2 crore 50 lakh rupees. The amount received on debenture application is to be transferred to debenture account. Yes? So, to debenture account. How many debentures? 80,000. 80,000 has been issued. So, 80,000 into 200. 1 crore 60 lakh rupees. Now, on the same 80,000 debentures, how much is the amount of premium? 50 rupees. So, to securities premium reserve account, 80,000 into 50. We have understood this. When the debentures are issued at premium, the amount of premium is to be separately shown in securities premium reserve account. So, 80,000 into 50, 40 lakh rupees premium. And the allotment on pro rata basis of 20,000 debentures, the extra 20,000 debentures, the amount of that is to be transferred to allotment account. So, to 10% debenture allotment account. Just the way we used to keep advance money advance money for share allotment, is the way we are keeping the amount of share debenture as an advance. Not share debenture, debenture allotment as an advance. Yes? Which is 50 lakh. 20,000 into 250. See, 20,000 oversubscription. These debentures you were supposed to reject. You did not reject. You means the company. You did not reject. Instead, you have kept that amount as an advance of debenture allotment. And this is not new. Yes? Fine. So now talking about debenture allotment. Once we are done with the step of application, yes, the next thing is the allotment money becomes due. So 10% debenture allotment account debit, 2 crore 40 lakh rupees to 10% debenture account. 2 crore 40 lakh rupees again. 80,000 debentures and 3 rupees per debenture. Out of 500 or say 550, out of 500, 200 with application. Out of 550, 250 with application. Firstly, I have said about face value. Secondly, I am talking about with premium. So out of 500, if 200 is with application, then remaining 300 of course is with debenture allotment. So the amount becomes due for allotment, and the journal entry for which says 10% debenture allotment account debit to 10% debenture account, which is 2 crore 40 lakh rupees, 80,000 into 300. Now this amount becomes due. Next journal entry of course is about receipt of allotment money, which is bank account debit to 10% debenture allotment account. 2 crore 40 lakh rupees becomes due, and there is a receipt of 1 crore 90 lakh rupees only. Why? Because already 50 lakh rupees have been kept as an advance. In short, it is already received. Yes? So those 50 lakh rupees have been deducted from 2 crore 40 lakh rupees. That becomes due. And remaining 1 crore 90 lakh rupees have been received for debenture allotment. Yes? So that's all. We are done with illustration 5. It was little bit difficult to understand, not that much, but with practice you'll get habituated. Yes, we have learned, we have understood all the journal entries. Yes, and also we are having a sum of similar kind in your exercise. Let me just tell you. Yes, sum number 8 is similar to illustration 5. You should practice the same. Fine. Next, illustration 6 we are going to do, which is given on page number 76. And of course, yes, I forgot to mention that you are supposed to total the columns of debit and credit. Yes, these are the short sums, and this kind of sums are asked in examination. Okay, let us start with illustration 6 now. Page number 76. They say Kavish Limited issued 20,000 8% debentures of rupees 100 each at a premium of 30 per debenture. The concept is extremely simple. 20,000 debentures have been issued at rupees 130, 100 plus 30, 100 face value, 30 rupees premium. The full amount was payable on application. Applications were received by company for 24,000 debentures. So how much more? 4,000. 20,000 have been issued and applications are received for 24,000. That means excess is 4,000. And this 4,000 debentures have been rejected and the amount is refunded. Applications for 4,000 debentures were rejected and amount thereon was refunded to the applicants. Debentures were allotted to the remaining applications. Pass necessary journal entries for the above transactions in the books of Kavish Limited. Again, a very short sum. Let us see the journal entries for this. Before that, let us understand an important note which is presented here. It says when company called up full amount of debentures at the time of application, then this amount is to be credited to debenture application and allotment account instead of debenture application account. See, the illustration that we have solved previous to this is, the amount of debenture is called up with application and allotment. So we had 2 journal entries for application, 2 for allotment. Here the case is that the entire amount is called up with application itself. So instead of debenture application, we are going to write debenture application and allotment account instead of only application. Okay, so first journal entry. Bank account debit to 8%. 8% is the rate of interest. You don't have to do anything about it. We are not supposed to write down the journal entry for payment of interest to debenture holders. We are just instructed that yes, the debenture holds 8% interest on it. Yes. So bank account debit to 8% debenture application and allotment account. Let us read the narration. Being receipt of application money on 24,000 debentures at rupees 130 per debenture. Obviously, applications have been received for 24,000 debentures and not 20,000 debentures. And what is the price of debenture? Rupees 130. So this way 24,000 into 130. That gives you 31,20,000 debentures. Second journal entry. 8% debenture application and allotment account debit. 31,20,000 of course. To 8% debenture account. Obviously 20,000 debentures into 100. 100 face value, 20,000 number of debentures issued. To securities premium reserve account. 20,000 debentures, 30 rupees premium, 6 lakh rupees. Remaining excess applications of debentures, 4,000. 4,000 into 130 to bank account, 5,20,000 rupees. 130 rupees have been returned to the applicants. Yes. So this way 24,000, the calculation of 24,000 is presented. 20,100 rupees transferred to debenture, 20,000 30 rupees transferred to premium, and 4,000 debentures 130, that is 100 plus 30, have been returned to the debenture applicants. Yes, and the narration for same is given below. You may please read the same for better understanding. And here we also complete illustration 6 for today. So that's all for today. I hope you were able to understand illustration 5 and 6. And for the sake of revision, you should watch these lectures on repeat mode. You are available with the facility of YouTube. All these videos are uploaded there, so you can watch them anytime. You can revise them well. Yes. And now let us see what is your homework for today. Of course, the illustrations that we have done, illustration 5 and 6, that we have done in today's lecture, which are given on page number 76 and 77 respectively. And the sums of similar kind, sum number 8 and 9, from exercise of this chapter, on page number 112 and 113 respectively. Alright, please study the lectures carefully, try to understand them, and then practice the sums of similar kind. Yes? So that's all for today. We'll see you soon in the next lecture. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and study well.